Welcome to this extended tour of the new Oxford Digital, launching for Back to School 2025. Our new platform has been designed for Australian classrooms, and our primary goals have been improving usability and accessibility to drive student engagement, save teachers time, and deliver better outcomes. Let's dive in and take a closer look at the Oxford Math 7 sample. All of the navigation now sits in this handy side menu. These icons at the side of the screen help take you where you want to go. We're on the home screen now, but by clicking the Oxford Digital logo, I can go back to my bookshelf. Course structure, I can view all of the course content, and as I'm a teacher, I can access lesson plans here too. Resources shows me all of the resources in one spot. Assigned work lets me access and monitor all the work I've assigned my students, and reports lets me access my students' results. Let's begin by taking a look at the new format of our student content, because we're saying goodbye to the flat image-based e-reader and moving to an accessible, reflowable format with integrated videos and activities. In the course structure menu, I can select my chapter, which we're now calling a module. Let's click on Module 7, Angles and Shapes. I'm taken to the opener for Module 7. Clicking Next or Overview on the right-hand navigation menu, I can make my way through the module. Here I have access to the diagnostic pretest for this module. After students complete the pretest, they are assigned a Learning Pathway report, which gives them a curated list of questions and resources at their level for the entire module. Below the diagnostic pretest, I can see an interactive skill sheet for each of the prerequisite skills tested in the pretest. Students are automatically assigned these if they need to learn or practice a skill from the pretest, but they are always accessible here or in the Resources tab if I want any of my students to complete them. Now I'm ready to look at the content in Lesson 7.1, Classifying Angles and Lines. Here is the opener for Lesson 7.1. The lesson automatically displays in slide view, with the content split up into chunks, which mostly fit onto one screen without needing to scroll. If I prefer, I can switch to single page view and scroll through all the content in this lesson. But let's go back to the slide view for now. This is the lesson overview, which includes the learning intentions and success criteria for this lesson. Here I can see the first part of the theory. Under the heading, I can access a key content video covering theory in this lesson. These key content videos have been developed in partnership with ClickView, and over the next few years, we will add at least one to every lesson in this series. I can scroll down to see the rest of the content in this part of the theory, and again, click Next. As you can see, the theory is broken down into smaller chunks, so there are no big blocks of text. After the theory, we have worked examples. There are between 1 and 5, but usually 3 or 4 of these in every lesson. If I scroll down, I can see the video of this worked example. Every worked example in this series has an accompanying student-friendly video. We've kept the design of these videos simple, so students feel like they're simply watching someone else solve each worked example. I'm going to jump into the exercise questions now. Here I can see the first set of questions for this lesson, Exercise 7.1a, which includes all the understanding and fluency questions. All the questions in the online exercises match the questions in the print books. While we have plenty of assessments that can be completed online, we've made the conscious decision to keep the exercises as they are, understanding the importance of students showing their working and completing some questions by hand. While I'm looking at the course content, let's have a look at the tools I have available. I can write and save notes on the content, and I can bookmark specific parts of the lesson as well, and I can share both notes and bookmarks with my students. As I have a premium subscription, the Oxford Dictionary is accessible here as well. I can adjust the font size of the text I see, and if I select Read to Me, the content on this screen is read aloud. Finally, there are 4 Desmos calculators embedded into the product: the graphing, scientific, 4-function, and geometry calculators. The Desmos calculators appear like this, and I'll be able to move them around my screen so I can see the content below. Below the exercise, I can see a link to the answers to these questions, as well as a link to the worked solutions. As a teacher, I can choose whether I want to give students access to the fully worked solutions. For each resource in Oxford Digital, I can click the 3 dots to see that I can copy a direct link to this resource, add this resource to my favourites, download this resource, note this feature is only available for PDFs and Word documents, and I can assign this resource to a class or group of students. If I assign the work solutions to my students, they will appear right here at the point of learning. Now that I know what's included in this lesson, I'd like to have a look at the lesson plan. I can access the lesson plan for lesson 7.1 by clicking on this button up here. I'm taken directly to the integrated lesson plan. I now have access to everything I'll need to deliver an engaging and well-timed lesson right where I need it. The lesson summary shows the learning intentions and success criteria for the lesson, and as I scroll through, I can see all the information I need to know as a teacher before I start, including potential difficulties for this content, as well as ideas for differentiation. I can collapse this content when I've finished looking at it. Next, I can look at the suggested starter activity for this lesson. There is a starter activity included for every lesson in this series. I can also see suggested ideas for homework. If I want to, I can download the lesson plan as an editable Word document for offline use. As a premium subscriber, I can also customize the lesson plan I see online. An eye appears next to each activity. I can hide the corresponding activity from the lesson plan. We will be adding the ability to reorder activities and to add your own activities soon. At the top of the lesson plan, I can see all the resources included in this lesson. I am taken directly to all the resources for this lesson, though I can access all the resources in the book if I want to. I can search for resources by name, filter resources by type, filter by lesson, download all downloadable lessons for this lesson or for the entire book if I'd like to, and see all the resources included in this lesson. Resources that have been recently added are highlighted for me. I can assign resources to a class or group of students from here as well. When I click the X, I'm taken conveniently back to the lesson plan. Here, I can also choose to only view a specific type of resource if I prefer. Now I see only the video resources included in this lesson. Below the lesson resources, I can see some collections of resources, publisher's choice, my favourites, any resources that I favourite will appear right here, and most popular. Let's go back to the lesson plan. Now that I've reviewed the lesson plan and included resources, I'm going to start the live lesson. I need to select my class, and I can also choose to send my class an email link to the lesson. Let's start the live lesson. This opens in a new window so that I can project the live lesson to my class and refer to the lesson plan on my device. Students enter this code on their devices. I can easily see who has joined. If you have any students working remotely, they're still able to join the live lesson and keep up with the class. If anyone arrives late, I just hit roll call. They can enter the code and join at any time. The content here is exactly the same as what's in the student version, and it's curated into small chunks so that it works beautifully as a live teaching aid. The only difference between what you see here and the student book version is that any activities, like the starter activity, are included in the content. While I am projecting this, students are able to navigate freely through the content, to perhaps go back to content that I've already covered. This also allows stronger students to work ahead of the class, but still remain in the live lesson. All activities are locked, so students can't access them until I'm ready. I can unlock each one by clicking right here. Let's look at a worked example now. As you can see, I'm projecting this on the board now, and I don't need to prepare anything. Scrolling down, I can see the accompanying video for this worked example, and I can choose to play this for the class. The bell's about to go, so I'm going to wrap up this lesson. When I end the lesson, I get this screen. Here, I can quickly set any resources that I'd like to assign for students to complete later, either as revision from this lesson or pre-work from the next one. I can assign the resources to all students, those who attended the live lesson, or perhaps those who were absent, or I can select a group of students manually. These resources are now assigned to those students. I end the live lesson and am taken back to the lesson plan where I started on my device. This menu at the top shows me a summary of where I am in the content. Let's have a look at the reports included in this product. This is the skills report. Currently, I'm looking at the results of the Module 7 pretest. When students complete a pretest, they are assigned a learning pathway, which provides them with a curated list of resources and questions for the entire module. In this report, I can see how my class performed overall, broken down by skill, as well as the number of students assigned to each learning pathway. I can see student results in each skill down here. I can also download the learning pathway reports for the class with just one click. As a premium subscriber, I also have access to the skill sheet report, where I am able to see student results in every interactive skill sheet included in this product. This is the assessment report. Here I can view the results of my classes in the many online assessments included in this course. I can filter to see any of my classes or to see the results of a smaller group of students. Student results are highlighted in this report to help understand student achievement at a glance, but I can turn this color coding off if I prefer. This is the general view of the report where I can see the top level results for each module. Now I can see the results for all the assessments in Module 1. I can select the grey modules to view any results for online assessments that they include. Down here, I can see my students' overall and individual results in an online assessment. I can click here to go back to the general view, or I can click up here to view a different report. This is the curriculum report, which premium subscribers have access to. This report helps me to track student results against the curriculum. Overall student results are displayed at the top level, and then I can choose to see results grouped by strand and then also by content description in the Victorian Curriculum Mathematics version 2.0. So that brings us to the end of our tour of the new Oxford Digital. We're ready for launch for Back to School 2025. If you'd like more information or a trial, request a sales consultation. Thank you.